I like it.
Do you know what a Jewish dilemma is?
Mm.
Free ham. Little Martin, he's 4 years old, and one day while he's pestering his mommy, she said, "Why don't you go across the street and watch the builders work? Maybe you'll learn something." Martin was gone in like 2 hours, and when he came home, his mom says, "What'd you learn?" And Martin says, "Welp, first you put the goddamn door up. Then the sons of bitch doesn't fit, so you gotta take the cocksucker down. Then you gotta shave a cunt hair off each side and put the motherfucker back up." Martin's mother said, "Wait till your father gets home." When Martin's father got home, Martin's mom told him to ask Martin what he learned today. When Martin told him the whole story, Dad said, "Martin, go outside and get me a switch." And Martin says, "Oh, get fucked, that's the electrician's job." Hey, how do you know when it's time to wash dishes and clean the house?
Oh.
All you gotta do is look inside your pants. If you got a penis, it's not time.
Oh.
Hey, did you hear about those brand new tires, Firestein? They not only stop on a dime, they pick it up. This Pole got married, but the Pole was too dumb to know what to do on his wedding night. "For God's sake, Stan," says his bride, "you take that thing, you play with it, and you put it where I pee." And so he got up and threw his bowling ball in the sink. A black guy and a gorilla go in a bar together, and he says to the bartender, "I'd like a beer and a gin and tonic for my girlfriend here." And the bartender says, "Come on, pal, we don't serve no gorillas in here." So the guy figures he's going to fix them, so he takes his gorilla back home, shaves all her hair off, gives her a nice wig, lipstick, a red dress, and everything, and he takes her back to the bar, and he goes, "I'd like a beer and a gin and tonic for my girlfriend here." The bartender gives them the drink, so they go off and sit in the nice chat. The bartender turns to his buddy at the bar and says, "Drives me crazy. It seems like every time a good-looking Italian girl comes in, she's with a black guy."
What?
Or it was Big Mike Obama we're talking about.
This is a Missouri jokes about Arkansas. Question: what's considered foreplay in Arkansas? Answer: when the man says, "Brace yourself, Linda Lou."
Hold on to that tailgate real hard.
How do you tell if an Arkansas girl is old enough to marry? Answer: make her stand in a barrel. If her chin's over the top, she's old enough. If it isn't, cut the barrel down a little bit. Scotsman carrying a huge suitcase has been riding a London bus for 5 miles along its route, all the while attempting to avoid the ticket collector. Finally, the conductor manages to corner him, and he says, "Pay up. Been on for 5 miles. That'll be 50. Please, and 10 for your suitcase." Scotsman says, I just have half a penny fare. I just got on this very moment." In arguing, and the ticket collector gets more enraged, and finally, the bus is passing over the bridge, so he grabs the Scotsman's suitcase and throws it out of the bus. Lands in the river, it sinks without a trace, and the Scotsman stands shocked for a minute and goes, "Not only are you trying to overcharge me for the ticket, but now you're gone and drown me boy, Johnny." Scotsman, so tight.
I could have
Scotsman.
swore that his wife would have been in the case in the trunk.
You wish you were that Scotsman with your wife in a suitcase.
Aye, Captain, aye.
A Scotsman and Jew went to a restaurant, and after a hearty meal, the waitress came by with a check. To the amazement of everybody, the Scotsman was heard to say, "I'll pay it," and he actually did. The next morning's newspaper had this headline: "Jewish ventriloquist found murdered in blind alley." Two friends, a Scotsman and a Jew, are out drinking one night, and eventually nature calls, so they head for the head. The Scotsman takes the lone urinal, and the Jew says he's got to take a dump, so he goes in the stall. Well, you hear all the usual noises for a minute. The Jew says, "Damn." "What's the matter?" says the Scotsman. "Well, the Jew says, when I was pulling my pants up, I dropped a dime in the toilet. The Scotsman joins the Jew in the stall to look at the sad sight, and they both shake their heads in despair. And then the Scotsman, he reaches into his own pocket, drops a quarter in the toilet. The Jew's like, what did you do that for? And the Scotsman says, well, hell, I'm not going to stick me hand in there for a dime. You know why Japanese sumo wrestlers shave their legs, don't you? So you can tell them apart from feminists.
Ouch.
All right, I'm about at my end here. He initially farmed the young man out to each of the departments. First, research and development, then manufacturing, then sales, and in each, the son was a dismal failure. So he was determined to find a place for his offspring and decided that his son needed his own project. So the father put his son in charge of the new advertising campaign. He told the son he would have no supervision and that any and all resources he needed would be put at his disposal. The son was elated and immediately set off to make his dad proud. Well, 4 weeks later, the son proudly said, I've finished. And he and his father went out to examine the first product of this new campaign, which was a billboard. As they drove to the site, the son explained how he'd been blocked until a sudden insight leaped in his head. He turned the corner, and the father, horrified to see the billboard, showed Christ on a cross with a caption that said, even then they use Goldberg nails.
Oh,
And the father says, explains to his son, you can't portray Christ on a cross. Might offend their Christian clients. Son's all dejected, and he said he'd fix it, and he his father. Well, a week later, the son was again excited and said, I finished, and he took his dad to see the billboard, and sure enough, Christ was no longer on the cross. He was lying at the base of the cross, and the caption read, this wouldn't happen with gold.
Your voice cut out.
Okay.
But
Oh.
we
Give it up for WyNott.